Hi everybody, Dan Oman, Mike Beer. Race number 4 at Santa Anita on Saturday is the $100,000 Speakeasy Stakes. This is at 5 furlongs on the turf, and it's part of the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series. A win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. Let's take a look at this field. We're going to take the field in post position order. Again, the rare 5 furlong turf distance at Santa Anita. We're running for $100,000. The number 1, It's Gonna Hurt, is fast. Pace pressing winner at Del Mar for an $80,000 maiden tag. He's by Violence, who wins 13% of the time with first-time turf winners. But there's a lot of dirt in this pedigree. The dam has foaled 4 turf runners. None of them have won on the surface, but I'd expect some speed.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, that's a little bit of a problem with this horse, just how his pedigree lays out. I mean, just on the face of it, Violence, I feel like they're getting a little better on turf. They started out pretty slowly. They're picking it up. He's got City Zip on the dam side. So it feels like he should handle it, but there's not really any performance on grass. I liked his last win just fine. He's got speed. He's got the rail. I suppose he's a dangerous horse there, but there are other fast horses to his outside.
The number 2, Whooping Jay, is a Calbred that beat fellow statebreds in his career debut and did so as the favorite, drawing away in the lane. While Square Eddie is only 9% with first-time turf runners, they run on the turf and synth, and there's more turf pedigree here than on the 1. The Dam won twice on the surface, and she's a half to a stakes place turf runner.
Yeah, the Dam did win on Turf Cup. She was one of those horses who could run on anything. They ran her on all 3 surfaces out there. She ran her race on all of those surfaces, so I'm not that worried about turf with this horse. His debut was pretty good. I mean, contested the pace between horses. He was way better than them at the end of the day. The race didn't come back that fast, so he's going to have to improve.
Let's talk about the Timeform US pace projector for this Speakeasy Stakes, because the speed likely to come from the filly. The number 3, May Never Know, and Wesley Ward wins these races in bunches, especially with fillies against the boys. May Never Know, I loved her debut at Belmont, where she just sat on the outside, attacked her favorite stablemate, a Bassinian, and then just ran off. In the Tremont, it looked like she had that race in the bag at the 16th pole, and she found that last half a furlong and 5.5 furlong race too far. She got back on the beam last time out in the Colina race that pretty much on paper she had to fall down to lose. She's trying turf for the first time. Dam won twice on the surface, was grade 1 place sprinting. Listen, this pedigree just fine for turf.
Yeah, there's a lot of turf in the pedigree, and if, he was trying to get her on turf last time. It didn't happen. She had that field over a barrel when it came off, and she never gave them a chance to win it. To me, she's run really well in all 3 of her starts. I'm with you on the debut, especially because you can just look at her last 2 races and see how fast she is. And she had no problem sitting off another horse. I shouldn't even try and make the lead in that race, and she was fine with it. I like her at the 5 furlongs, obviously. I think she's going to take to the turf, and here I know she's a short price, but I'm taking her.
I think that she probably should go right to the front.
Yeah, they got to use her
speed that she could rate. Gary Stevens back aboard, was aboard for the career debut. The 4 is Midnight Mystery. Bob Baffert doesn't usually do this. I believe in Formulator. Past 5 years, 2-year-olds dirt to turf. He's 0 for 18. This horse is by Warfront, though, a prolific turf stallion. 12% winners with first-time turfers. The Dam was a true dirt horse. Multiple grade 1 stakes winner, Midnight Lucky, who was unraced on the turf. I went back through our DRF News archives, and Brad Free wrote about this horse before his debut on dirt at Los Al, and Baffert said he wanted to get him on the turf, and he specifically mentioned this race. So while Midnight Mystery was a disappointment at odds-on at Los Al, something tells me he's going to improve on the turf.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he will. It'll be interesting to see if he does. He is a Warfront.
You think more distance, though, right?
It's just weird to hear Baffert saying he can't wait to get a horse onto the turf. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard him say it about any horse before. We'll see what happens with him. They bet him like he was going to win on dirt first time out. It didn't happen. I guess we'll see how good he is. What kind of price is this horse going to be in this race? Are they going to go back to this horse again? I don't think I'd take a short price on it.
It was 4 to 1 on the morning line. I have a feeling May Never Know is going to take money. Hartle also probably will take money. Beaten favorite last time out in the Del Mar Juvenile Turf. And if you don't like playing first-time surface runners, Hartle's probably the one you want because they win a good clip in the Del Mar Juvenile Turf. He ran well that day. He's probably the horse to beat for Peter Miller, but something tells me he's no superstar.
I feel the same way about him. I mean, I doubt that he's got major graded stakes races in his future, but he's pretty good. We have a field of 7 here. There's only 1 who's ever won on the turf. So this horse, and he won sprinting he got a perfect trip that day, but he won easy. And then he ran fine last time. I mean, they tried to stretch him out to a mile. He set another good trip. He got to the lead in that race, and they just came and got him at the end. It feels like the turn back will work. I just can't argue with this horse based on what he's facing.
Principe Carlos got a little bit of turf pedigree. The Coils have gotten off to a slow start on the grass. 1 for 21 with first-time turf runners, but the Dam won a couple of times on the surface and has foaled one turf winner, and there's some class in the pedigree. The second dam was a graded stakes winner on the dirt. 1 for 50 last time out, improved at Los Alamitos. Kind of think this is a tough spot, although I wouldn't be surprised if the turf moves him up somewhat.
Yeah, maybe he'll move up on the turf, but it feels like he's really going to have to move up.
Owning's got some dirt on the pedigree. Dam's a half to Conquest Mo Money, who did some good things on the Triple Crown Trail a couple of years ago from the female family of Touch Gold. They tried this horse on the turf. I really couldn't find the excuse other than the slow start. They're turning him all the way back to 5 furlongs. I think with this outside post, he can get position.
Yeah, I guess just unless you think he didn't want to go a mile last time, you could give him that excuse, but he really didn't run that well in his turf debut.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Speakeasy Stakes. Mike's going with the speed in the Speakeasy with the 3. May Never Know. He's going 3, 5, 2, and 4. You just think, listen, she's meant for turf. She's by no, nay, never, and she should just blitz him.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. I mean, it does feel like there's a lot going on in this race, but I'll just take the horse. So I feel like I've seen her run, and she's run pretty well.
I'm going to give this Baffert horse a chance. I know it's something that Bob does not do, dirt to turf, but I like the war front on top. I like the fact that they've mentioned this race in the past. I'm hoping Midnight Mystery improves on the turf at a little bit of a price. 4-1-6-5 for me in the $100,000 Speakeasy Stakes, part of the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series. A win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. Good luck.